It's time to talk about Disney and Disney's Snow White, and this is probably the final time that I'm going to be talking about this film. I would like to say that it is unlikely to be the last time that I will be talking about the certain actress who played Snow White because she's coming here to the UK to play Evita. So at some point we'll have a look at the ticket sales and perhaps what people think of that, but it's not been looking good for Snow White whatsoever. Most of the theatres here in the UK, especially in my area, have all dropped the film. I was straight up in front and honest with you about this film. It's never been looking good from the beginning, I would say. Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters, not by myself. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, switch on the notification bell so that you know I am releasing another video. I'm trying to get to 2K. Can I break it? Who knows? But I'll try anyway. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed already. I could not run this channel without you. I release a Doctor Who video every Sunday, and then I cover woke news during the week, and I also make posts and polls. So it's a very interactive channel. So it is rather an unfortunate time for Disney. They have put on the back burner more live action remakes, just two being released soon, and that's Lilo and Stitch and Moana. These two have not been axed because they were so far into their production that it's now just pointless to even try to do that, and it will cost Disney too much money to do so. However, it did put paid or a temporary stop on remakes like Tangled, and I think that was a good and solid and smart move for Disney. I've not watched a live action remake since Beauty and the Beast, having not really taken to them. I just decided that they were not for me. Oh, sorry, I lie. I watched Snow White. You see, how forgettable is that? I apologise. I don't even remember watching Snow White, but apparently I watched it. No, I definitely watched it. I have a review on this channel and I was not bowled over. Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast were pretty good as remakes, and I appreciate them for what they were. However, Snow White was trying to be something that it was not. Disney went with the skin as white as snow for their original version of it. But for this, they changed many aspects of the story that they originally told. And I'm not necessarily going to refer to the Brothers Grimm here, but their own retelling of it. And so, unfortunately, because of that, it lost its magic, it lost its mystique, it even lost a little bit of its horror. Unfortunately, however, that isn't really what led to all of the downfall overall. It is part of it. Not having the Seven Dwarfs in it was a big problem. Going against the grain and not listening to people, which is Disney's fault, was also part of the problem. And a certain mouth from a certain actress was also part of the problem. And what I mean by that is tying political posts to promotions for the film, saying things like the prince is a stalker, just generally not shedding a good light. And the one thing that a lot of people really did not like was her saying that Trump supporters should never know peace. She took the full blow and blame for all of the film's failure. Disney hold a massive large proportion of that blame, but they will never admit that they were at fault. However, they are paying for it financially, so it's unsurprising, therefore, that it's not done well at the box office. Disney's Snow White woes continue as controversial remake still has yet to reach $100 million at US box office. Disney's live-action Snow White reboot starring Rachel Zegler as the titular Snow and Gal Gadot as the evil queen has seen its share of struggles since it debuted in theatres on March, God, that feels like ages ago now, 21st. The film which had a mega budget of around $270 million, has yet to make back even half of that at the domestic box office per Collider. Now, they're writing here that it cost $270 million to make, essentially. That's what they're trying to say. This number looks small, and there is a reason for that. There's a couple of reasons for that. Now, they don't know what the complete cost is. However, they report it this way, so then that it looks like it's got a good potential of breaking even. It's a weird way of reporting figures. The film was shot here in the UK. So this is the real reason why they don't have the final total for the cost. We're still waiting for the financial declarations files to be filled here in the UK, because once we have access to those, we will know how much it costs to make. And then all you have to do is add on the cost of promotion, which obviously will be claimed in America. The reason why that is because companies here in the UK have to file it publicly by law. You can even go, and look up Bad Wolf if you wanted to. And if you're wondering who Bad Wolf are, if you've not seen my Doctor Who content before, Bad Wolf are the production company for Doctor Who, and even though they are apparently owned by Sony, they still have to report it publicly. So it will be there, and we will get the Snow White one soon. I don't know when exactly, but the end of the financial year was fairly recent. So we'll find out. Thus far, the Mark Webb directed Snow White has earned $84.5 million in the US per Box Office Mojo. Overseas, the film has done a bit better, taking in $100.3 million, but with a worldwide box office haul of less than $185 million, the film seemingly has no hope of turning a profit. Snow White has also garnered terrible critical reviews, and its Rotten Tomatoes score has dropped to 39% as of this writing. Critics have, on the review aggregator site, called the film misguided and miscalculated, and that Gal Gadot's performance is the biggest failure of the movie. Say what you like about Gal, I thought she was probably the best bit of the movie. Snow White was review bombed. Shortly after Snow White hit theaters, users on the popular movie database IMDb left so many negative reviews for the film that it prompted a warning from the website. The site flagged unusual voting activity on Snow White's IMDb page. The site shows a 1.6 out of 10 rating for the movie from IMDb users. So domestically, it earned $84.5 million. 84.5, and it's not out of theaters yet, so it has very little chance of doing more. That's terrible. This film, with the amount that they've spent, would have to break at least $1 billion. It's got to. Now, I say that obviously we don't have that final total, but if you're going to add on another 250 to what it was, this tells you that it's going to have to break $1 billion. They had reshoots, they had to call actors back, they had to go back to the UK, they had to get back the blue collar workers, they've got to rent out spaces, equipment, whatever. It all costs them money. Now, this claim that Snow White was review bombed, it's quite strong. Just because people are leaving reviews and saying it's bad doesn't mean to say that it's been review bombed. The IMDb page is still showing 1.6 out of 10 for rating from the IMDb users, but those, for all we know, could be genuine and honest reviews. It's a strong claim to make, but I guess they will try and pass anything off to suggest why it is a financial failure, not pinning the blame on the company, not pinning the blame on the woke ideologies that went into making this, not pinning the blame of statements of the stars, and they're trying to tie it to things that it shouldn't be tied to. I'm not surprised by the international box office figure either. I said from the beginning it would do better internationally because they're not so connected with what's going on behind the scenes stuff for this film. The film is banned in Lebanon. Snow White has faced a tough road from the beginning, with criticism regarding the casting of Zegler in the title role. In mid-April, the controversial movie was banned by theaters in Lebanon because of Israeli actress Gal Gadot. Lebanon's Interior Minister Ahmed Hajar, I think I've said that correctly, recommended that the film be banned from theaters there. Gadot has been publicly supportive of Israel since the war began in October 2023, and in 2024, at the Anti-Defamation League's summit, Gadot said, "Never did I imagine that on the streets of the United States and different cities around the world, we would see people not condemning Hamas but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of Jews." Snow White has also been boycotted by the non-violent Palestinian-led movement BDS and the Palestinian Campaign for the Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel since the teaser trailer for the movie was released in 2024. I'm not going to get into the politics of this. I just thought it important to include this bit because there were people attempting a boycott because of Gal being in the film and her heritage. But this also affects the film's performance, so I need to present it in black and white to you, okay? I know people will outright blame Gal for this, but at the same time, Gal can't help her heritage. What she didn't do, though, was tie political statements to the promotion. The quote that she says here was a completely separate thing, not related to Snow White whatsoever, and I praise her for not tying political statements to promotion, and I hope that she keeps it that way no matter what people think of her. I just think it shows a level of professionalism that we do not see in Hollywood these days. A Minecraft movie is dominating 2025's box office. In comparison, Warner Brothers, a Minecraft movie, has taken a bite out of Snow White since its April 4th theatrical debut. The Jack Black, Jason Momoa-led film has earned over $344 million domestically and tallied up over $720 million worldwide since it premiered. Even with the controversy surrounding the movie, Snow White is the number 5 highest grossing film of 2025 thus far per Box Office Mojo. That could still change. It's still very early in the year. Oh, and they say this actually, but being that it is early in the year, that is likely to change quickly. A Minecraft movie has the number 1 spot for the highest grossing film of the year so far, even though its Rotten Tomatoes score is not all that much higher than Snow White at 47%. So it looks like potentially the Minecraft movie is going to make $1 billion. Now, the Minecraft movie, from my understanding, and I've not read the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that, is not something that is full on in your face with political and pushy messaging and woke ideologies. It's my understanding that a lot of people here in the UK are enjoying it for what it is, much like the Beetlejuice movie last year. I watched that, by the way. I watched it and I was very happy with it. I watched Barbie too. I never got round to watching Oppenheimer. But Beetlejuice didn't have any pushy messaging in it. It was just pure fun entertainment. It was kind of forgettable, but I'm glad I saw it. Barbie, I didn't like Barbie, but I appreciate it for what it was, and the fact that people loved it. I do have a review of Barbie now that I think about it, somewhere here on this channel, and I think it was probably one of my first videos. Gosh, that's going back a bit. But I think that what this goes to show is that these films are doing better than the Disney movies that have woke ideologies and messaging forced into, not even integrated naturally into their stories. And the fact that Disney are doing it on purpose, it just highlights that Disney are making big mistakes with what they are doing. Lo and behold, though, when they don't do those things, their films do better. I find that very interesting. It's almost like it's common sense. I think Lilo and Stitch is most likely going to be a success. They've pretty much kept stum on that. The trailer looks pretty good, and I'm probably going to be watching it because my niece will want to watch it. She loves Lilo and Stitch. So let me know if you would like a review on that one. Let me know what you think of the Disney chaos with the money. Chat about it, don't shout about it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, switch on the notification bell so that you know I am releasing another video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. And we're going back to Johnny Somali, which we haven't done in a while. Bye-bye.